there, this is Vicki Arsenault, and you're listening to another episode of Faithing Your Fears. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I am talking to you from my car in a parking lot because I have a few minutes and I wanted to just share a couple things with you. Recently, I was, feeling really sick. I was in bed, solid for 3 days and couldn't do the podcast, couldn't do anything. And during that time, I found that I started to get really discouraged. Not only was my body fighting something, but mentally, spiritually, everything, I felt like I was fighting something. And we come up at those times, like my life is good. I don't really have anything to complain about. But during those times, I feel like when you're physically down, it kind of drains you emotionally, it drains you spiritually. And I found myself in bed on Sunday. I couldn't go to church. I was just so sick. And I was laying there thinking, all I really want to do is just put on HGTV or something so that I can just stare at it and not have to think about anything. What I made myself do instead was put on some worship music, because when I'm feeling down, and maybe with you guys too, when you're feeling down and out, you just don't really feel like praising. It's not the first thing in your mind. You want to sulk, you want to have your pity party, you want to do brainless activity. And I made myself put on some worship music. And I just laid there worshiping, crying, all kinds of things. And I actually felt like I flexed a little bit of a faith muscle. So I'm not someone who loves working out in my physical life. And I feel like somehow that reflects on your spiritual life. If you don't work out your faith muscles, they're going to get weak. And then when times get hard, you feel very disconnected from God, and you feel like he's just some genie up in the sky. Just you're wondering if you're going to get the wish you just prayed for or whatever. So it was a real exercise in my faith that day, and to let there be words of praise on my lips, because all I wanted to do was complain. I felt really terrible. And instead, I was trying to find ways that I could just find stuff to be thankful for. My nice comfy sheets, my bed, my home, just my family, all the things in my body that were working well, even though parts weren't working well, and all of this. So anyway, I laid in bed and had to practice that faith muscle. I think it actually just did me wonders. And since then, that discouragement that I felt, not just the physical health getting better, but the discouragement I just felt in my spirit. There's been a lot of stuff happening in our lives that I haven't talked about on the podcast. And it's just been very hard and very draining. But I found that after I just started making it intentional to praise God for all that was going well, and to trust that He sees the bigger picture that I don't see yet, that it was easier for me to feel encouraged. And all of a sudden, I was filled with hope again. I was filled with hope and with vision for what's coming in the future, even in the midst of all of the pretty crappy stuff that's happened over the past couple months. So, anyway, everybody is going through life. You're going through life. You've got some hard times. You've had some things that have happened. People around you that you love have had some things that happen, and that affects you. But I want you to know that you can still flex that faith muscle and praise God during these storms. And it's hard, and it's an effort. You have to do it. You have to make yourself do it, because you will have victory on the other side of that, which is going to give you hope for the future. And that's what we all need. Now, during this time of year, there's a lot of hope around. There's a lot of really amazing things when the Christmas spirit hits and people are giving and loving and celebrating and all of the things. But for some people, it's not that season. It's a hard season. They're missing their loved ones, or they're going through an illness, or whatever thing might happen. This may not be a season of joy for people. So keep that in mind when you are out and about during the holidays. And I want to encourage you to do one thing, and that is this month to practice random acts of kindness. because we don't know what everybody's going through. When you look on Facebook or Instagram or all the places, everybody's got these beautiful, happy pictures and fun. Everything's happening. And it just looks magical, right? But just because you see that on social media doesn't mean that that's actually what's happening behind the scenes. And maybe a snippet of joy in the midst of the chaos. But there are people that are really hurting. And so while you're out and about this holiday season, just do some kind things for people randomly. Whether it's holding the door for somebody, paying for somebody's coffee, buying somebody's dinner anonymously. Maybe you're in a place where you're able to even help a single mom, get toys for her kids for Christmas. Whatever. Come up with some really cool things that you can do that are anonymous, right? Because we don't want to just do it so that everybody's like, oh, look at you, you're so awesome. No, we want to do those things in secret so that God is the one that gets the glory for it, not you. We used to have a Random Acts of Kindness group at a church I was at. I used to run that group, and we would go around and do like dollar drops or $20 drops, like hide $20 under the diapers at Walmart. And that way when somebody picked up that bag of diapers, they would see the $20 there, and there was a note on it so that people knew it was left there intentionally. We hid money with little notes on it inside vegetables, like not inside the vegetables, but in the vegetable section. We went to a gas station and just paid for people's gas one day. There's just lots of really cool things you can do, and they don't all have to involve money. It can just be spending quality time with someone or, whatever. Be creative, but just do something that's a little outside of yourself this season that is going to be a blessing to somebody who might not be having the best season right now, because we all have those times. And I just want to bring it back around. I really hate when I get in those times where I feel dark, where I feel lost and empty and confused and just discouraged. They're rare, but they happen, especially when I don't feel good physically. But what I always remember is that after that happens, I'm not always going to stay there. I know the sun is going to shine again. I know I'm going to be able to move forward. I know that God is always going to be there with me. But I also have to make the effort to pursue him, and also to make the effort to be joy in the world in a place where people may not always have joy. So, sitting here in my car, that is just what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that it's helpful. I hope that your season is going well. I hope that you're really looking forward to December. But if you're not, I just want you to know that someone out there cares. I care. And I'm just sending you a great big hug, and hoping that you're going to be able to find little sparks of joy just doing little tiny nice things for other random people. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again next week. Talk to you soon.